But we were doing a video the other day on stuff at the lathe on making a flange. That was it. Yeah, we were making that drive flange to fit a U-joint. Anyway, some people had pointed at the the boom truck in the back. A couple people recognized it as a drill rig, and they were curious about a video on it. It's a late 30s, early 40s GMC 6x6 chassis, and I don't know for sure, but I've had some of those, so it's somewhere in there. It's not the later 40s version. And the truck cab is a obviously Alyeska surplus pickup that was added on here. They used the Chevrolet, it's good running Chevy 350 with a 4-speed, and then they took a piece of water pipe to put two drive shafts together. So if you go very fast, she gets a little wobbly in the seat, because they did not make the drive shaft really straight, but it'll crawl along and move. My thought on it initially, you're always wondering, pieces of ground, what's in the ground? How far does, in Alaska, how far down is the permafrost? Where's the gravel? Are there any toxic heavy minerals in the gravel? You want to explore it sometimes before you go doing stuff with your ground. And as I've got more and more ground, I thought it was a good investment to buy. Several of my friends that were still younger in their head than in reality were telling me how they were going to go back and go doing some churn drilling. After I had it a little while, I realized that it's not just them that are younger in their head. They convinced me. I had given up the idea years ago, saying they're too hard to work, and I convinced myself over the years that they would have been easy enough to use when I was younger, but I'm no longer younger, and I'm probably not going to use it. I thought about on YouTube doing, get it all going, and it runs great. They put a new engine on it here. A guy that was going to go out and do some prospecting for heavy minerals that were not toxic, gold. He put this together. It still needs a few more little things, and he was going to go prospecting with it, go do some checking on some ground. And they do check. They do good for ground. We've got wrenches with it. It is 6x6, like I said, and we've got the tooling, but the tooling's not in real good shape. I've got another baler, but we would probably build one from scratch, because I've got a really nice Bucyrus Erie 6-inch baler, and I just don't really want to tear it up. It's a good artifact sample. Instead of using it, I'd just soon use it as a pattern for making another one and not actually wear it out, because it's, other than being kicked around, it's new. I think it's a Star. I know it's not a Bucyrus Erie. The plate is here. Somewhere back behind this welded on stuff is the actual brand, and I'm not sure, but it looks like a Star to me. I don't know. And we've had it fired up and running a little bit, it all moves. The basic drill works. The mast needs to have some of the supports put on it. This raising winch assembly is kind of hokey, and the winch control had a bad solenoid. But there's other ways you can do for raising it or fix the winch. That's the minor part. But there's a lot of cross bracing. When you put the mast up, there's a lot of cross bracing pieces that you bolt on to support it. It doesn't just hold because it's itself held up against the back here. There's struts that go up to it. Without those, it won't really work. And we don't have those. So that would be the big thing to do there. The truck does run, it drives. Brakes, no. No brakes. Which made it interesting when I first drove it up onto the trailer and took it home, because I just had to figure my speed right to come into the landing pad at the end of the trailer, and it worked good. Shut it off at the right point. It just stopped there. So yeah, that's the truck that people were curious about. Don't know what I'm doing with it now. I've already expended. I thought I was going to get excited again and go do something with it. I don't know. I have friends that know how to run them, but would any of it pay? I don't know. It's just awful labor consuming, and we just don't labor the way that people did 40 years ago. Um, it's just not a thing anymore. Not to, I was talking with Bert the other day that part of where there's jobs and nobody to fill them is people are spending less activity in their jobs. They work slower. I work slower. Everybody I know. I'm not picking on anybody. We have slowed down as a nation. We have slowed down in what we do. And in some ways that's good because it is, we've got more equipment that can do things for us. We've got computer controlled lathes if we're mass producing. We've got a lot of things. But the things that just plain take manual labor from people, like doing manual machining, which sometimes is still the fastest way to do one of something, it really raises the price. So there's good and bad in that. It's nice to be able to get outside and enjoy things and go hunting a little more if that's what you're into. I never was into those things though. See, I'm a little strange. I was always into work, get things done, and I used to like 16 to 20 hour days. I don't anymore though. 8 hours, I've had enough. I'm kind of a slacker. I only work 8 hours anymore. Not like we used to. So it's a little different. She is quite a relic. She is, and that's the thing too, if it was an old drill rig and it was in like new condition, that I have helped people running these things and made parts for them many times so they could finish one hole or two holes. And we're close to base. We wouldn't be traveling too far. But I just don't know that I want to do all it takes to keep drilling with it. And we would have to make some tooling. I was kind of excited for a little bit with, but yeah, anyway, I don't know. Lots of different toys. Always trying to decide what's really worthwhile. And then another thing attacks me and it looks like a good thing to do.